Hi, welcome to my channel. This is Living to Learn. I hope that today's video is going to be helpful to you. After all, I come on here to share information, give advice, strategies, tips, everything based on what has worked for me in the past, things that I've learned that I think have been helpful tools, and I try to share those with you as well. Again, everything I say on my videos, this is my opinion, this is what I think, and this is my platform, so that is what I'm going to express. However, if there's anything that you can take away from anything that I share, I hope that it helps you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, that really helps me out. So please subscribe to my channel. Before I get started, I do want to make mention of a couple of things. In the description of this video, you will find my Instagram handle at Live to Learn Coaching. Same thing on TikTok. Okay, you can reach out to me there. Direct message if you have any questions about my services, if you have any questions about anything I've said or shared, any suggestions, anything like that, I'd love to hear from you. You can also leave a comment on this video. That's another easy way to communicate. The other thing you're going to find in the description of the video is 3 opportunities to donate financially to this channel. That is very appreciative. You don't have to do it, but it does help out a lot. And for those of you that have gifted me previously with financial donations, a special thank you, because it goes a long way. But overall, thank you so much, every single one of you, for your continued support. Now let's get into today's video. I've been keeping this theme from last week, kind of extending off of the whole self-worth, self-acceptance theme, which is something I think we need to go back to time and time again. And I've kind of brought it to a more personal place, right? As far as transitioning out of a religious environment that is, perhaps not allowing you to think freely, not allowing you to be yourself. This is something that I've dealt with personally. This is something that I have had to unlearn. This is, you may have heard the buzzword deconstruction. What does that even mean? Well, it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. For me, it just means taking a look at my belief system, my faith, the documents of my faith, right? The Bible, all those things, taking a look at these things and saying, okay, what's really going on here? How much of this has just been given to me as, hey, take it as I've said? How much of this is actually real? How much of this actually applies to today in today's society? And what I noticed where I transitioned out of that environment was when I started to notice that, you know what, when I put my foot down, or when I set my sights on a certain truth and I won't accept anything other than that, I am alienating others from my life, and I'm putting things on other people and other groups of people that didn't do anything to me. And why am I treating them this way? Why do I have to look at them this way? And a lot of different things. And I can't go into it all here. I mean, it would take a long time. But again, Instagram, if you have questions, I can answer them. If anybody watching this has a question about anything that I'm saying, or where did I draw my conclusions? How did I start thinking this way? I'd love to hear from you. I'm not afraid to answer those questions. But I can't do it here in a video, because then you guys would be here for 20 minutes. Nobody has time for that, right? So we're going to make it quick. So anyway, I was talking yesterday about transitioning out, right? Where are we, what is a religious environment? What is it like? Understanding it, right? What is the impact that it has on us? Again, any environment doesn't necessarily have to be a religious one, but any environment that restricts you from being you is the main point I'm trying to make in these videos. So today I'm going to talk about free thinking. What is free thinking? What does that mean? And what does that have to do with a religious environment? What does that have to do with transitioning out of one? So in the dictionary, free thinking is just forming your own opinions and beliefs, especially about religion and politics, but overall, forming your own opinions and beliefs. You see, I don't stand for anything that is going to try to tell me, any system that's going to try to tell me, that's going to try to tell another person how they need to think about certain things. I am going to draw my own conclusions. Okay? Free thinking is very significant, has a very significant impact on our personal growth. A lot of people in certain religious environments, because of the way they're written, and again, I'm speaking from experience. Okay? You want to ask me about military special forces? I have no idea. You want to ask me what it's like to live in what it's like to live in a third world country, I have no clue. But if you're going to ask me what it's like to grow up in a religious environment, that's all me, baby. I grew up in church. This is what I know. So what I'm telling you is not just I'm not an outsider. I have been in this. Okay? And the first thing I want to make clear is I am not knocking church. I am not knocking any religion. I have seen beautiful things done, and I have seen amazing people. I've met amazing people. I've met some of the most beautiful people in the world in church. This is not a knock against that. What this is me and my transition, my journey, and I'm sharing it with you because maybe it relates. Maybe you can relate. Even if you're not religious, maybe you can relate to some of the things I'm talking about as far as pivoting, as far as transitioning away from a certain type of thought process, right? A box, a place that you were told everything needs to fit in here, and it just doesn't make sense anymore. So as I began to form my own opinions, despite my guilt, right? Because you feel a lot of guilt when you start to think differently than how you were instructed to think. When you start to question things that you were instructed not to question, right? And again, I wasn't abused. I mean, there's people that have way worse experiences than mine. I think I've had one of the best experiences and still have found myself in this place. Because free thinking has a significant impact on our personal growth. So when we begin to formulate our own beliefs and our own opinions, that's when the growth starts to happen. That's when you start to see that, you know what, in all actuality, this is probably not a healthy environment for me any longer. And that can apply anywhere. I'm talking specifically about religious environments because, again, this is personal, but that can apply anywhere. There are benefits of embracing open-mindedness and critically thinking. You know, that's one thing that I oppose. Anything that puts down critical thinking in place of a doctrine or in place of a theology, in place of a set of beliefs, I question that. First of all, if I'm a created being, why do I have a brain if I'm not going to use it? Why do I have the function of critical thinking if I can't apply that everywhere? Second of all, I don't know about you, I never asked to exist as a human being on earth. Now, I'm grateful for the life that I've led. I've been very fortunate. I've said that several times on this channel. But I didn't ask to be here. So if I'm restricted from critically thinking, from drawing conclusions, what does that say about that system? To me, it's not, hey, this is a system of love. No, it's a system of control. And I want nothing to do with that. So embrace open-mindedness. See, for some of us, it's so scary because of the way we were raised, because of where we're at, right? If you're in the mix, if you're still in church, if you're still in a religious environment, you know what I'm talking about. This probably is uncomfortable for you. It was uncomfortable for me and still is at times. I got to be honest. Still is. But my mind is open. I am open now. And open-mindedness and critical thinking are beneficial, and we need those things. We need to keep those things because you know what? If not, then just out of sheer ignorance and not being able to see clearly, we can do more damage. We can do more harm than we do help. So just keep that in mind. How can free thinking lead to new perspectives and personal empowerment? Let me tell you how it can. I no longer walk around with these with this guilt on my shoulders. You know, when I was a kid, I was so terrified of the punishment of God. I was so terrified of the consequences of not doing things properly. And it stays with me. It stays with us. It's still there. But my free thinking has allowed me to see a new perspective that, you know what? A lot of this stuff, and again, do your research. A lot of the things that I was told, hey, this is the divine, this is the faith, this is what, you know, this is what God says. In reality, a lot of these things were not actually from the divine, but they were actually influenced and created by another human being's opinion. And so I think to myself, well, what puts their opinion over mine? And I'm just sharing from myself here. I'm sharing from my mind, from my heart. If there's something else, if I haven't touched on something that you want to hear about, by all means, let me know. But free thinking can lead to new perspectives. We can see things differently, right? I always go back to the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, how that book changed my life, because it showed me for the first time in my life that not everybody sees the world like you. And I know that sounds funny. It might even sound ridiculous. But until you've had that actual realization, you may continue to go on thinking that everybody just sees things like you do. And we don't. We don't. Not everyone grew up in Southern California. Not everyone grew up in a Hispanic family, right? Like, it's my perspective. And it changes, and it can be changed when I can develop my own opinions and belief of things. And that is exactly what I have decided to do. And it's personally empowering, because I no longer have to feel this guilt or this weight of I have to subject myself to this, and this. I'm not saying discipline is bad. No, self-discipline is necessary, and I need more of it. But when things are, hey, if you don't do this, then this is going to happen to you, right? Which, of course, we all know there's consequences to our actions. You don't have to have a faith to know that, right? But when it's packaged in this, this religious format and said, well, this is how you're supposed to proceed. You see, once you do away with that, now you're personally empowered, and that's what I've experienced, right? Not a bitterness, not a hatred towards, not at all. I understand. Believe me, if you're still there and you're thinking, you know what, Josh, I like what you're saying, man, but I don't know. It just, the Bible says this and the Quran says this and my scripture, my pastor, my leader said this. And believe me, I know where you're coming from. That's why I decided to make these videos, so that there's someone who knows where you're coming from. I know exactly where you're at. And I know exactly what it takes to get out of that. And I know exactly what it looks like on the other side of that. It's not wrath. It's not punishment. Personal empowerment. It's a new perspective. It's a new way to see things. Take it into consideration. I am not telling you to think like me. I am not advocating for anyone to do what I've done. I am simply sharing those benefits and how it's helped me. What I've begun to learn, unlearn, and relearn. And now I'm living to learn. So thank you for watching today. I hope it wasn't too long. I hope I didn't go on a crazy rant that you didn't understand. If you want me to clarify some things, please let me know in the comments or hit me up on Instagram. Again, personal empowerment, new perspectives, okay? Benefits of free thinking. Free thinking is just drawing your own conclusions, coming up with your own opinion and your own belief of things, not being told, not being controlled, but you yourself have decided that. And that will change, and it should change. I hope I don't think the same way I do today 10 years from now, 10 years in the future. Free thinking. Watch your personal growth when you start to think freely. Again, I'm not knocking any faith system, belief system, believe me. If you know me, if you know Josh, if you've known me for a long time, you know my family, you know where I come from. You know my roots. And I love it. And I love those people. I love those family members. I love those people that I've met, the beautiful people that have been influential and helpful in my life. I'm not discounting that. However, I have to think. I have a mind for reason. You got to think about that. Critical thinking. Why do I have the capacity if I'm not going to be allowed to use it? Just let that sit with you for a while. For all my religious brothers and sisters, I don't know what religion, what faith you're in, but just think about it, okay? Anyway, thanks again for watching the video. I thought I was done, but I kept going. Really, just, hit the thumbs up, share this video with anybody you think that might, benefit from it. Hit the notification bell if you want to know every time I upload a new video. Follow me on Instagram. Send me a direct message if you have any questions. If you want to inquire about my coaching services, I'd love to hear from you and see if we'd be a good fit for each other. And thank you so much for your continued support. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And you guys have a great day.